Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. It is Eternal Weekend 2021 week, and it is the Vintage main event coming up. So I'm going to play some Vintage for you on the channel here today. This league was requested by Patreon subscriber Sam. Sam wants to see some Rug Xerox. The current state of Vintage, Rug is not really on the map. Bug and Bant seem to be the fair blue decks of choice. But last year, Rug was also not really on the map. It was a known deck. There were some smart people working on it. Like I think Matt Murray, Chubby Rain, was a big champion of it, and he was a big Vintage creator at the time. But it wasn't really like the hot deck coming in. People were talking about Jeskai as the right Xerox deck, and I just locked in on playing Rug for all three main events, and I got second place in one of them, and I think I lost top 8 win-ins in both of the other two. It was a really good weekend to be Rug Xerox, and the metagame shifted when you have 3 major tournaments 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, I did well Friday, I saw more of this deck on Saturday, and then it was a lot of the field by Sunday. It was very popular, and it's doing a lot of good things. The things that this is doing that other Xerox decks are not is primarily Wrenn 6. Wrenn 6 should need no introduction. That card is banned in Legacy. It's everywhere in Modern. But you don't see it a lot in Vintage because red and green are not typically good colors in Vintage. But when they're supported by the blue cantrip shell, it gets a lot better. Wrenn 6 with Strip Mine or Wasteland can lock an opponent out of the game. It's just like Crucible of Worlds Strip Mine. Wrenn 6 does not get Flusterstormed. It doesn't get Red Blasted, which are the main ways that people interact with the stack outside of Force of Will in Vintage. You can hit your land drops through a shop's lock piece, like a fetch land plus Wrenn. You'll eventually dig out of a lock because you just get to fetch a land every turn, and even if they're wasting you, you just pick that land up and play it again. It lines up really well against that, and against the other fair blue decks that aren't going broken. Against Bant, Wrenn 6 can kill Noble Hierarch. It's gone. You have Lightning Bolt in your deck. That's really good against creatures, I've heard. Good against Deathrite Gem and good against Archon of Emeria. There's a lot of good targets for Lightning Bolt in the format right now, and most of the decks aren't red, so they don't get that card. Of course, Pyroblast is a reason to be red. We got 3 of them right here in the main deck. The number 1 deck in Vintage right now is the blue, what MTG Goldfish is calling Blue Tinker, which is just like a blue soup deck that tinkers for Bolas to Citadel, and it has a bunch of the Ancestral Recall, Moxen, and Time Walk kind of stuff around it that you'd expect, but then you season to taste on the edges. Pyroblast, very good against the card Tinker. Flusterstorm, very good against the card Tinker. And we get Dack Faden, which is good in blue mirrors because it gives you card selection. It's good against shops because it takes all their cards. Oko, Thief of Crowns, also banned in Legacy, banned in Modern, banned everywhere. This is the only place you could still play Oko. And what really ties the room together is a pretty solid Bazaar matchup as well. Because you have the Strip Mines, Wastelands, you have a fighting chance game 1 to beat a Bazaar deck. If you could keep Bazaar out of play, you could control their creatures with Lightning Bolt, Oko, etc. Put Tarmogoyf in front of them. This thing will just be like a 5/6 most of the time. That's bigger than anything Bazaar's going to show up with, short of Hogak. And then out of the sideboard, you have 2 Tabernacles, a bunch of Ravenous Traps to help that matchup. Some updates I've made for the 2021 World. Alpine Moon, sweet tech here. Urza Saga is in most of the blue decks now, and this is a 1-man answer to all Urza Sagas. It can also come in against Bazaar decks. You name Bazaar Baghdad, and their whole engine collapses. Pithing Needle has been an established sideboard card against Bazaar decks since Needle was printed, and Alpine Moon is just the same thing, but has extra application elsewhere. Shattering Spree for the artifact decks, the 4th Pyroblast, don't leave home without it, and then Lightning Bolt and Collector Oof round out the sideboard here. This is a very fair deck. It's a very slow deck. Most games will be won on turn like 12, 13, 15, unless the opponent concedes to your overwhelming advantage before that. But if anyone actually makes you play it out, the game's going to end with you with 7 cards in hand, no way to lose, and a Tarmogoyf just killing them in 5-point chunks. That's how we drew it up anyway. Let's go see if it works out that way in 2021. The deck that was really great, took Eternal Weekend by storm in 2020. Is it still alive a year later? I am on the draw against an opponent who's already serum powdered once. So we're playing against Dredge. Like, there's Narcomoeba Creeping Chill. This is actual factual Dredge. Which is good to have this information. It's actually good I'm on the draw, because I would have snap kept this turn 1 Wrenn and 6 hand. But I'm going to mulligan now that I know what we're up against. Yeah, looking for Wasteland, and I found one. I'm going to keep this 6 and send... This hand really isn't good outside of the Wasteland and the Force. Pyroblast is not going to be a great one for this matchup. Even with the Wasteland, we're pretty far behind. Dredge Game 1 in Vintage is just... It's literally a meme. Like when the London Mulligan became the new thing, like Vintage Dredge was the poster child meme of why the London Mulligan might be dangerous. But, alright, that's what the sideboard's for. Also just saying, if we were Jeskai Xerox that only plays 1 Strip Mine and no Wastelands in the 75, I think we would already be conceding this game. Don't even get to pretend there's more to play. A Hollow Boy. I'm going to force that. Stealing it with Dack is pretty exciting, but I don't have the mana set up to do that for a long time. I would take 12, 16, like way more than I want to from that thing before it would be answered by Dack. Finding the red source is nice. That turns my hand on eventually. They are slow dredging, though. Let's take a look at this. They found a prized amalgam. They dredged Stinkweed Imp. Shambling Shell is the only dredger left in this hand right now. If they miss on their next 3 cards, we're actually just Gucci. Really like an Ancestral Recall, but I'm not greedy. I'd take a Preordain even. They found Icarid. That sucks. Icarid. And they found 2 more dredgers. The other 3 cards were Icarid, 2 more dredgers. Icarid will bring back prized amalgam over and over again. We are going into hard mode here. I don't think I want to probe this turn. Let's look at the deck. Is there any reason to probe this turn compared to just casting my spell? I guess I don't really care what's in their hand, so probing, if I find like Ancestral Recall and can tread through my deck. Alright. Red Horde Arcanist is here now. Their hand is Force of Vigor and 2 other things. The 2 dredgers they've picked up. So at this point, I'm trying to dodge Bridge from Below and draw some Lightning Bolts. That's the goal here. Creeping Chill, okay. They exiled 2 Creeping Chills in their Serum Powder. Or maybe it's only 1. They exiled 1 Creeping Chill in their Serum Powder. I'm definitely not going to trade off Dreadhorde Arcanist for this. They can Cabal Therapy me with this basically for free. If I can get Oko into play, I might actually be medium stable against this board, like start putting Elks in front of the Amalgams and stuff. So I have Draw Step plus Gataxian Probe off of Dreadhorde Arcanist to find an untapped mana source. Unless they just sniper, Galaxy Brain sniper Oko out of my hand with a Cabal Therapy right now. Opponent's been in the tank for a while, and they just said in the chat, sorry, I'm new to Vintage. So they are probably like poring over deck lists or whatever right now. They just have MTG Goldfish up in another window trying to figure out what they're supposed to name with Cabal Therapy. I don't blame them. It's important. And these are the sort of skills that you need when you play Vintage. Like knowing what is in every deck. Like all your Cabal Therapies have to be perfect. Like Dredge does have the raw power game 1, but in sideboard games especially, you're going to need to know what you need to bring in. At Moment of Truth, are you an Oko Thief of Crowns, Galaxy Brain Genius, Tarmogoyf? Nope. Okay. Deal. That's also a good name, though. I have as many Tarmogoyfs in my list as I do Okos on land. Ooh, Brainstorm. I think that card is good enough on its own to be worth skipping the Oko. I'm going to Brainstorm using my red source because Tarmogoyf, that Tarmogoyf's a good one. Maybe I'll find one of those. Ruh-roh. I can Pyroblast the Amalgam. That's cool, it's a blue card. Get another red land so I can do that. And then I'm going to attack and cast Brainstorm again. Or maybe I want to Probe again this turn, because I don't have a shuffle for Brainstorm. Is this turn already lined up? No, Brainstorm is just powerful enough. This is vintage. 3 cards could totally change the world. And now I can hide Oko from Cabal Therapy. Wrenn 6 is not the play. I am going to spend this turn. I have to wait till Icarid and any potential Narcomoebas come into play, and then I can Pyroblast Amalgam. Bridge from Below punishes this. Alright, they didn't have a bridge. In combat, Pyroblast this. Not many good targets, so I'm happy to find a home for that one. I'm at 6, though, and this Icarid is still coming. Wall Therapy, yep. Oko, Thief of Crowns. That one was hidden by my Brainstorm, if you recall when I did that. Okay, so I'm going to... Do I want a Mystic Sanctuary? I don't think so. Like, I'm going to play the land, but I don't think I want to use it. Oh, Force of Vigor can actually hit food tokens, even after they become elves. I think they're still artifacts. But I do have to play the land. I guess I do want the Pyroblast back, because they are eventually going to get that Amalgam back. Cast Probe, target you. Bunch of Dredgers, and the other thing, the Force, but we knew that already. Then Oko, make a food. I can Lightning Bolt Icarid so it doesn't connect. And after that, I'll be able to sneak in. I guess they know Pyroblast and Wrenn 6 in my hand, so I kind of have to bolt the Icarid immediately, like in the upkeep, because there's a Cabal Therapy in the graveyard, and I don't want them to hit a bridge on their dredge. So Lightning Bolt this right now, before they get priority. Oh wait, why is there Amalgam in exile? How did that happen? Didn't I just kill this with Pyroblast? I don't understand why that card is exiled. Oh, did they just pitch it right now for Icarid? Okay, I get it. That was somehow their last black. No, they had Grief. That had to be a mistake. Okay, I'll take it. I'm not too proud. Icarid is coming in next turn. I can cast Wrenn 6, pick up Wasteland, cast Dack. I actually like that. Cast Wrenn 6, pick up Wasteland, play Wasteland, cast Dack. Then I'm going to activate Dack, target myself. If I can discard a cool thing here, alright. That's not the cool thing I was looking for. I'm actually just going to elk up my food, and I'm not attacking with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Because I can see the Icarid over there. I don't want to take 3. I don't want to lose any of my Planeswalkers. Yeah, there's the Force of Vigor. We knew about that. Yeah, and casting Lightning Bolt isn't really getting me anywhere. They have 1 black creature left in their graveyard and no Dredgers, I think. Yeah, they're just drawing natural here. Please don't draw Bazaar. Yeah, they have to attack me. Do I block? Like, I can just make a food and eat it next turn. I'm not going to block. I'm at 3. Like, the Crippling Chill is a concern, but they're not dredging anymore. So I can just make and eat food to stay ahead of Icarid. And the whole squad is online at this point. So Wrenn, pick up a land. Dack is probably going to discard that land again. Yep, discard these lands. Oko, make a food. And I don't really have a good attack here. I guess I'm not going to block, so I might as well attack, right? That's how Magic works. Send this Lightning Bolt upstairs. Got to win the game eventually. And I think this Ruby is better off in my hand as Dack food. Out of black cards for Icarid, out of Dredgers. I have Wasteland up if they ever find another Bazaar. I'm just going to gain my 3 right now. Make sure I don't die. That's the great thing about Rug Xerox. As long as you don't die, you will eventually win. Ooh. Well, that'll do. Merchant Scroll for Ancestral Recall, and we're off. Ancestral Recall, target me. All right, opponent's seen enough on that one. All right, took a game 1 against Dredge. Welcome to Wasteland. That's the power of Rug compared to the other versions. Okay, Alpine Moon, Tabernacles, Ravenous Traps all come in. The rest of this stuff does not come in. Pyroblast comes out. It did its job. It found a target. Thank you, Pyroblast, for your service. I stabilized that game at 3. That Prized Amalgam would have killed me. I'm going to cut Mental Misstep. Mental Misstep counters like Nature's Claim and Chain of Vapor, that kind of thing. But other than Alpine Moon, my hate is an instant and a land, so I don't really need to worry about Nature's Claim kind of stuff. However, my opponent is on the other side playing the game of like, will he have Ley Lines? Will he have Tormod's Crypts, Soul Guide Lanterns, Tabernacles? What is my opponent going to do right now? And I get to control the pace of that game. Don't think I want Flusterstorm here. Force of Will also isn't great, because like, for the things I just said, I'm not really protecting my 8 cards. Don't really need to. They could force a Ravenous Trap, which is something I should keep an eye on. Hullbreacher is kind of medium, because Dredge isn't drawing. As long as you replace all your draws, you are not affected by Hullbreacher. Yeah, maybe Hullbreacher sucks. Bring in these hate cards. I got my Planeswalkers, got my Wrenns. Tarmogoyf to win the game. Tarmogoyf and Oko to win the game. Yep, looks good to me. I said it at the beginning of game 1, but seriously, if I was on the play, I would have kept a hand with a turn 1 Wrenn and 6 and easily lost that game. Because I was on the draw, I got to see their powder mulligan before I took my own mulligan, and I found the Wasteland, and that was the entire game. Just vintage things. I'm going to keep this hand with Ancestral Recall in it. The great thing about not playing Leyline, the reason I'm not playing Leyline of the Void is that you have to mulligan to it or else it doesn't do anything. But Tabernacle, like Ravenous Trap, you can cantrip into and cast later. Tabernacle you can find literally any time. Like, you can be dead on board looking at 15,000 power and just like, oh, Tabernacle, you lose now instead of me. Because the Dredge deck doesn't really make mana. Oh, opponent mulled a 1. The vintage Dredge experience. Oh, wow. They mulled a 0, said LOL. And yeah, welcome to vintage Dredge. I'm not a mathematician, but I remember when the London Mulligan was revealed, people were like, oh my god, vintage Dredge now has like a 99.7% chance of starting the game with Bazaar in hand or something. And it's astronomically high percent. And my opponent just mulled to 0. And I will say, I was in a coaching session yesterday with someone. We were playing a Bazaar deck, and we also mulled to 1 twice. So if they rip Bazaar off the top at any point, and at any point might be generous, but if they do it soon, I could be in trouble. Okay, I'm not in trouble anymore. Ravenous Trap. My opponent did not shame concede on the mull to 0, which is fine, because my deck is really slow, and if they draw Bazaar, they could be back in it. But now I have Wrenn active, Ancestral in the hand, Rav Traps ready. Palace on 0, yeah. My deck has 3 things that hurts. And I have Dack, so I can just discard them if I find them. Alpine Moon. Do I show them the moon? Moon them? I'm just going to get Dack busy. Target myself, draw 2, discard 2. Flooded Strand can go, and Lightning Bolt can go. I pick the Flooded Strand right back up. Now we're doing Xerox shit. Don't even need this Ancestral Recall in my hand. Not interested. My opponent said, okay, that's enough. GG's. I agree. I think we're done here. And now it's official. They have conceded. If you're not familiar with Vintage, I can't stress enough how insane it is to 2-0 Dredge with a fair blue deck. You usually just lose game 1. And this deck has the tools, the Wasteland to clip the Bazaar. They were on a mull to 4, so didn't have a whole lot in the tank afterwards, and just work through the Icarids and stuff fair and square after that. That's power. I do love this deck. On to the next round. I am on the play against Gigantha the Wellspring. I actually don't know what deck Gigantha would be in. At least I know that the deck doesn't contain Chalice of the Void, because it has 2 of the same mana cost, which is X. So it's not a Chalice deck. I'm gonna mulligan though, my hand doesn't do anything. Okay. This hand does everything. I'm gonna keep this and send Mox Emerald to the bottom. Or do I want the land? I actually think I want the land. Okay, I'm gonna send a land to the bottom and then keep the 2 Mox in. I could... Oh, they look like they're F6, actually. I'm just gonna cast my Ancestral. I was about to say I could play around this or that, but... Oh, bang. Ancestral Recall's on the stack, and it resolved. Found Force of Will, that's good. This could be some sort of like crazy exploration deck. Doesn't seem like that's the case. Time Walk, yeah, I'm not going to fight over that. Saga is immediately on 2. The powerful vintage interaction. Time Walk and Urza Saga, not bad. They are a shop stack. Romantic Lantern, what the fuck? Okay. I'm not going to fight over that either. Fear of Resistance, can I beat that? I think so. I'm going to let that resolve. Hopefully I can just draw a land and cast Oko right now. Right. I'm going to have to do a little bit of work. So, Ponder. Definitely need to find mana source here. Okay, we're in business. Found the land, and Wrenn 6 is under it. So I can force using Mox Ruby this turn, and then Wrenn can arrive, hit all my land drops, dig out of Sphere after that. Oh shit, I just let myself get Pithing Needled. I just clicked right through that. But honestly, like, if they're going to get Pithing Needle to take me off of a land, I actually don't care about that, because I could still just draw and play the Wrenn 6 with the 3 mana I have and pick up the Flooded Strand and still be fine. In the scheme of vintage cards like Black Lotus, Soul Ring, Voltaic Key, they could get, if they want to needle me, that's fine. They have 3 cards left in their hand. Karn the Great Creator, that one gets forced. I think I want to pitch Preordain. Like, Oko fucks too hard. And what's the backup play? Crucible of Worlds. Okay, so they can Saga forever. I could take a turn off Wrenn 6 and just jam Oko here. They have Wasteland in play, though. So having Wrenn 6 to get ahead of Wasteland is a big deal. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Wrenn 6. Pick up Flooded Strand. I don't want them to have any ideas that this Wasteland is going to be a good thing for them. And they're Hellbent right now, but they do have Saga and Wasteland with Crucible, so being Hellbent's not a huge deal. And they can put Gigantha in hand. Gigantha's in the hand now. That is a 6 mana thing. They currently have 4 mana they can spend on it. Okay, Drew Black Lotus. I don't mind that. Oh, that makes Gigantha right now. Gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep, there it is. Cool. I'm going to fetch one of my lands now just to thin out the deck a little bit. Preordain. I can Oko, hit Gigantha, then it's a 3/3 instead of a 5/5. That's an improvement. I could also Oko and then bolt it, but I don't think I need to bolt it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then they get to Wasteland me twice, and I'm still behind on Urza Saga. The options I have here are put Ancestral Recall back on top of my deck with Mystic Sanctuary, or Elk plus Bolt. And I don't actually need to commit to either yet. I can just get the Flooded Strand, play the Oko, and then Elk Gigantha. You have a 3/3 that doesn't tap for 5 mana. I feel like we're behind right now, but it is close. The matchup of Oko versus Urza Saga is going to be an interesting one that I haven't experienced yet. Wow, they used their land drop. That was a mistake. Let's see if they know about Mystic Sanctuary, or if I'm just going to get a... Oh, I should have gotten a Volk there. If they waste in response, I'll float blue, get a Volk. But if they don't, I'll put Ancestral Recall on top of my deck. Nice. I should have gotten Volk here, though. I missed like a free opportunity to bolt the Gigantha. Okay, that's already done. Yep, it was already in play at that point. They missed their window to do that. And Ancestral Recall myself. Dig Through Time is a powerful card. Force of Will is a good card too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would really like to find Wasteland and take out this Saga, but I don't think I'm going to have the time to do that. And their construct tokens are zillion, basically infinite at this point. I could put Mox Emerald in front of a construct to block and try to dig for Dack, spend a turn looking for Dack. It is my green source currently. Doesn't have to be my only one though. I can get back Flooded Strand. Flooded Strand, turn Emerald into food, or into Elk. And I can block Construct, Bolt, Gigantha, untap Dig Through Time, looking for Dack to steal their construct. Is that the play? Yeah, it really sucks I missed my chance to Bolt the Gigantha last turn. That was a big punt. I'm going to fetch now, though. Get ahead of the Saga. 7/7 creature, that's pretty big. I think need also they get to name Oko with that. Or do you name Wrenn and attack Oko? They named Wrenn, okay. Attacking Oko. Right, I'll bolt the 3/3, block the 8/8. They can waste me here, or they can keep applying pressure with Saga. It's actually pretty close. Don't have green mana, that sucks. If they waste me. I used my Emerald. They're going for Wasteland. Probably the right call. Oh, they went after red. That's not the right call. I literally have a Mox Emerald, Mox Ruby in play. And only one green source. Wrenn's not helpful. Okay, blue, dig through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can have to delve an extra to get through the thing. I did find Dack and Dreadhorde Arcanist. So I think I want Dack and Arcanist and put the rest on the bottom. Play my land, play Arcanist, because that's the spell I can cast right now. Elk, one of the constructs. And even if they waste me, I can still Dack next turn. This Wasteland is becoming a problem, though. Don't get me wrong. They can't kill Oko if I decide to chump block the 7/7. Oko will stay at 1. So they have a choice of if they just want to go face here and try to get the game over. If they're wasting me, they should probably be trying to get the game over by attacking me. They are going after Oko. Oh, that was really smart. Yeah, the construct, the 3/3 Elk can't kill Oko anyway, so they're just going face with that. And I have to chump if I want to save Oko either way. And this one was a free roll to go after the face. That was a really good attack. I think Ancestral Recall is better than Oko right now. Oh no, they had a spell. That turns off my Mox Ruby, and then they can Wasteland me? Fuck. This is the shop's experience. Oh, they just doubled up on Wrenn and 6. That was a huge mistake. Should have named Ruby. Okay. Gosh. I think I want to attack Ancestral Recall, then go in on Dack. Attack, target Ancestral Recall. This is a little greedy because if I miss on land, I probably lose. But I play a lot of lands, and I think this is worth doing. Found one. Fetch. What lands are left? There's 1 Volk, 1 Trop. I think I'm going to leave the Trop in my deck, because I don't want to get wasted off green for the game if I can avoid it. I'm going to take the one that can block, I think. Or do I need to take the 8/8 out of the mix? I lose Dack regardless. Yeah, I'll just take the bigger creature out of the mix. Having the second Dack's pretty nice. It does suck that I'm under this Sphere of Resistance with exactly the wrong amount of mana. Their Wasteland's been so good this game. As it tends to be. The Elk is doing 3 to me again. Dack dies. We're actually pretty close to stable / ahead. If they do go for Wasteland here again, I get the second Dack. I can steal the Elk, and then we're in business. Or I could just steal Chromatic Lantern or Soul Ring. Okay, this is one of the last decisions I'm going to get to make this game. If I steal Chromatic Lantern, my construct becomes 3/3 and can tangle with theirs. I can brick Phyrexian Revoker in combat. I turn off their workshop for colored mana. Taking Soul Ring gets me more mana, but I think I like the Lantern. Or I could just take their Crucible and make a land drop. That's probably the best one, actually. Yeah, that's not even close. I'm just taking Crucible. Figured it out. Okay. That's better. Almost missed that one. And I'm not attacking because I'm currently blocking their entire board, trading off with their board and leaving Dreadhorde Arcanist behind, and I'm holding up Force of Will right now. They had a Saga in their hand. Now is the time to start shredding ahead with Dack, looking for Wasteland. Like, if I can Waste Crucible them out of the game now, then we're in business. I'm going to see a lot of cards this turn, too. I have Preordained, Dack activation, Dreadhorde Arcanist attack, can cast Ponder. There's a lot to like here. I also have Gush, in case I want that. Probably don't right now. Those look like good attacks. At least, like, trade off with the Construct before it's bigger than theirs. I'm not sure I agree with the Revoker attack, though. That seems like you just put it in the graveyard for no reason. Unless there's, like, Walking Ballista to follow this up. I don't know. Like, finish off Arcanist. Basically, whatever this is getting Force of Willed. It's an enormous X spell. Oh, Sphinx of the Steel Winds in your deck. Not on my watch. So they're a Tinker 5-color shops version. I mean, the Chromatic Lantern should have given that away, but now we know for sure. I'm in the market for Wasteland. Specifically and completely Wasteland. I'm going to Ponder out of my graveyard, spend 1 mana on that. Got there immediately. Do not shuffle that deck. Okay. Wasteland, take out Saga, Dack. Let's turn these Pyroblast into real cards. All right, opponent scooped it up. Out-prisoned the prison deck. Wrenn and 6, baby. That was Wrenn and 6's game. Kept me ahead of the strip lock, kept me ahead of the sphere. I mean, Dack and Oko helped out too, but like that game belonged to Wrenn and 6, as usual. Right, Shattering Spree coming in, Alpine Moon coming in, Nature's Claim, and Collector Oof. Does Oof hurt them or help them more? We saw Soul Ring. They're going to have some Mox in. Like, Oof, it might seem unintuitive if you're not familiar with Vintage, but a lot of Shops decks, even though they're artifact decks, play Null Rod because it's worse for the opponent than it is for them. Like, they're going to have Moxen and Soul Rings and stuff, but they also have just Mishra's Workshop, just Black Lotus you can tap every turn for the cards in your deck. We did see Sphinx of the Steel Wind, which means that they're going to have a Tinker and some, like, colored spells. There's going to be, like, Ancestral Recall and stuff in this deck. I'm not convinced that means I want Pyroblast in the deck still, though maybe I do. Nature's Claim, Shattering Spree, none of these cards can kill Sphinx of the Steel Wind, which is kind of the point of that card. Mental Misstep can come out. Gitaxian Probe I probably don't care about. Though Misstep, their deck's going to have Ancestral Recall in it. Maybe I do want Misstep. Leave a Pyroblast in. I really don't have an answer to Sphinx of the Steel Wind once it's in play. Because Oko is green, Dack is red. That card has protection from green and red. Yeah, I'm going to have to leave, like, awkward Pyroblast and Mental Misstep in the deck, just to make sure I don't get tinkered. One of these pitches to Force anyway, so I'll just enjoy that. And Dack discards the others. It's possible Oof is better than Lightning Bolt. I'm gonna try the Oof. Wasteland, Force of Will, Shattering Spree. This is a keep against Shops, no matter what build they are. Emerald, Shop, Crucible. I can shatter the Crucible in a turn or two. I'm not going to spend a Force on that. If I make my land drop past the turn, or I should play my Emerald out as well. Get ahead of any spheres. Ruby. That's a lot of mana. I have to counter Karn. Card is not beatable. They have Pyroblast in their deck. They didn't. That's lucky. Nature's Claim. That was a really fucking good draw. Now I get to empty their entire board. Shattering Spree, target, Mox, and other Mox. That's dead. That's dead. That's dead. Okay. That was pretty aggressive. Let's hope it pays off. I hope they just waste me and pass, because then I get to waste their shop and they're not doing anything. Oh my god, I get to waste them and play Tarmogoyf. This has gone well for me. Bang. 5/6 Tarmogoyf. You're dead in 5. What do you got? Ancient Tomb. Perfect. Oh, nice. Keep the hits coming here. Now I don't care if they draw their Ancestral Recall or whatever their blue splash is. Mental Misstep, Brainstorm, Wrenn in 6. Yeah, I'm taking Wrenn in 6. Waste lock them starting next turn. Strip Mine. Okay, do you have a spell? Oh, you have Crucible. That's pretty good. That does get ahead of the Wrenn. Kind of. Activate Narset. Ancestral Recall. I'm just going to take Dack. Red, blue. I'm taking their Crucible and just playing my Wastelands now. Yeah, get fucked, shops. That was a pretty clean controlling. Patience with the Force of Will, got value off the Shattering Spree. Had some really nice draws there, not gonna lie, but we survived the first wave, which is what you need to do against shops, and then you should be better than them for the second wave. And that's pretty much what happened. On to round 3. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw in round 3. I'm going to mulligan this hand with no mana, obviously. I will keep this hand with mana and dope spells. I think in this hand, I ship the Pyroblast, or maybe it's the Trop. Yeah, I'm actually going to ship the Tropical Island. I can turn 1 Dreadhorde Arcanist, and if that's not the right play, I can leave up Force and Pyroblast, depending on what they show me here. I can't bottom Treasure Cruise because it's my blue card, even though it's the card I would probably bottom if I had other cards. It looks like we're getting 8 casted. My goodness. Welcome to Vintage, kids. Oh god, they had the nuts. My hand can try to play through that. If they have a like busted 3-drop here, I'm in trouble. But if I can just go like land, tap my land, cast my Mox, there might be a game still to play here. Little risky because there's a good chance they're a Wasteland deck, but I don't think fetching my basic island gets me where I need to go. Fuck. Should have got the basic. Well, I blew that. Broke my own rule, which is always play basics. Well, if I don't force this, I'm never forcing anything. And I'm pitching the Gush, because that card is completely uncastable. And will be forever. Alright, now we lose. They are down to 2 cards in hand. They have the Inventor's Fair, but they'd have to pop Lotus to Fair. Alright, now they don't have to do that anymore. Okay, this is just Golos shops. Okay, and they have Golos. Yeah, their last card in hand was Golos. Deal. After sort of clowning shops last round, this is what the other side looks like. When they go first and they contest your Force of Will with a Sphere and all of that. Bad times. Alright, yeah, we're dead. I only showed them Volcanic Island, Force of Will, and Gush. I guess they saw the Mox Emerald too, so if they're on the level where they know that Xerox decks only play the on-color Moxen, then they probably know exactly what I'm doing. But we've seen this sideboard plan before, but this time I get to cut my Flusterstorms and Pyroblast completely because they're not doing weird 5-color stuff. Golos Shops is a Null Rod deck, by the way. Or it can be if it wants to be. But who's going to hurt more if we don't have Moxen? Should I bring in the Oof? All Breacher probably doesn't matter. Oh, Gataxian Probe and Mental Misstep don't matter. So I get to keep my creature, get Hull Breacher back in here. They have to win the game eventually somehow. They do play Lodestone Golem and 4 Phyrexian Revokers, so I probably want Lightning Bolt. Maybe that's better than Hull Breacher. Yeah, there's no way in their deck to draw any extra cards. I'm gonna play to the board like so. This is my plan. Let's do it. I let my shields down on that one. I looked at their start and was like, they probably have Wasteland. I'm going to pretend they don't. And then I immediately died to Wasteland. Though I don't think I was winning that game anyway. But you don't get to make that argument if you punt it into the sun like that. I'm keeping this hand. 2 powerful sideboard cards and a Force of Will. Let's go. Just gonna land go. I don't think I want to Alpine Moon. Like, I would like for them to commit a Narcissus Saga to the board where I actually get to remove it. Ancient Tomb, Mox Jet. Again? You got another one of those? Okay, counter that. Shattering Spree. Guess I probably want to drop my Alpine Moon here. Name Urza Saga. Yeah, this actually sucks. Maybe I'm supposed to Spree the Mox Jet as well. Just take them off that extra mana. Oh, that's tough. Okay, they're tapping mana. If I draw a land right now, we could be in business. Or a Mox. Ugh. Or a Force of Will. Just a little too late. Gonna have to shatter the Lodestone Golem because it will kill me. I need Ancestral Recall or Treasure Cruise, something, some such thing. Wish I had Gush right now, but I don't. Crucible. They have not made their land drop. Yeah, that's just lights out if it resolves, so gotta move on it. Come on, Ancestral Recall off the top. Lightning Bolt. I'm just gonna shatter this Mox Jet right now. There's no guarantee I'm ever gonna have mana again this game, and if I can take them off 2 mana by some time, that's really kind of the best I can hope for here. Like if they have one of their 4 Wastelands or 4 Ghost Quarters or 4... Yeah, there's Ghost Quarter. At least I do have a basic in this deck. They named Dack Faden. Alright, Lightning Bolt's in my hand. Sideboard's coming in clutch. Oh, gosh, thanks for showing up, you asshole. I should just Bolt now. Keep Academy under control. Well, the good news is, if I draw another island, Gush is really good in this spot. They have 4 mana, 2 cards in hand. Can't activate Inventor's Fair. Oh, that's so close to exactly the card I want to draw. 4 mana, Mystic Forge. Okay, yeah, that card's broken. Soul Ring. And Sphere. Okay, cool. Now we're dead. Look who showed up. I needed you last turn, now I can't run in 6. Life is pain. And the Sphere makes it so Gush is really bad. Even if I do like Gush and pick up a land to avoid Ghost Quarter here, I still just like need to replay a land, then I'm behind under Sphere of Resistance. Just not a tenable board state. That can't name land, so I don't have to fetch in response. Still naming Dack Faden. Oh, there's Sphere. Damn. Well, there's that. Mystic Forge. That card's restricted, and they found it. This was a close one, though. I think if Wrenn comes down the turn before they Sphere, I'm in good shape. I actually am just going to Gush here. I have my land drop available. I can make red blue. I guess it doesn't matter when I'm floating, because it's Gush. I can waste their, or strip their Academy. I don't think that helps. Yeah, I need to, like, actually amass mana here. There's not a pinch point I can take them off mana with, I don't think. Thorn, yep, alright. Yep, I'm dead. I'm gonna concede this game. This one was a little more typical. Like, we had some early exchanges, and then we got into a spot where neither of us really had any action, and whoever broke it open first was gonna win. And they drew Mystic Forge the turn before I could Wrenn in 6, and Mystic Forge immediately was worth 2 extra cards, plus the selection, and yeah, we're just not going to beat Mystic Forge on a stable or even battlefield. So, clean loss on that one. On to the next one. I'm on the draw in round 4 with kind of a weird one. I'm going to keep this and probably regret it. Tropical Island, please don't cast Deathrite Shaman. Alright, Preordain. Basically, my plan in a game like this is like waste you, and hope my hand develops by then. Okay, now I have the lands to at least cast additional spells. See if we can punish these low land counts in vintage decks. Ooh, you have a Strip Mine. Tropical Island Strip Mine. I bet this is Bug. Right, I'll play a Flooded Strand, play around their Strip Mine. Oh, no land, you say? I was right, you say? That makes this interesting. That means they can't actually Strip Mine me. Though it means they probably do have Force of Will in hand. I'm just going to fetch Trop Falk and cast Tarmogoyf. Weird. Just went in on it, huh? Falk. Alright. Their hand has all of the 7 cards in it. I'm going to play Tarmogoyf, because if they would have to force a will this, I think, because it's going to beat them eventually. And they can't just waste me here. Like Wrenn and 6 resolving there would have crushed the game completely open. The Ancestral Recalled and have to discard 2 cards to hand size. Looks like Bug is confirmed. I guess they could still be banned, but Gitaxian Probe will tell me what I need to know. Gross Spiral, Dig Through Time, Brazen Borrower, Oko. Oh, just some weird Simic deck? Without a counterspell in your hand? Oh yeah, alright. Mox Emerald, Red-Green, Wrenn and 6. Pick up Flooded Strand. And we're going to get in there with Tarmogoyf. And next turn I'm going to jam my Narset and hopefully end the game. Horde Arcanist, powerful card. I'm going to plus Wrenn right now, in case they get ideas about using Brazen Borrower to bounce it in combat, and then I don't get my land. Gross Spiral, Dig, Borrower, Oko. Okay, I'm just going to attack and see what they do in combat. I would like to cast Narset this turn. I'll probably lead on Brainstorm. Turn some of these extra lands into real cards. I'd like a Force of Will to back myself up here. Alright, they just expose themselves to Wasteland. The Gross Spiral does a lot of work to get ahead of that, but still. Alright, I found a Red Blast that can back up my Narset next turn. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to be patient here. I'm going to put back Lightning Bolt and Volcanic Island. I'm going to waste their drop and hold up Pyroblast for a turn. Time Walk, I'm not going to fight over that. That's just another Gross Spiral. Here's the Dig Through Time. This is what I'm going to fight over. Pyroblast on that. They have a Flusterstorm. Okay. So their Dig's going to resolve. This is not something I'm going to like try to gush into Force of Will over. I'm trying to resolve this Narset next turn. Misty Rainforest, land for turn. Dack, Faden, Gush, Narset. I can float blue, red, green, and Gush. Sets me back a bunch of lands. Do lands matter here compared to Narset? I could also just play Narset, see if they... Okay, I'm gonna get Tropical Island back in my hand, my graveyard. I know 3 of the cards in their hand are Brazen Borrower, Oko, Sylvan Library, none of which are good against Narset in a traditional way. Probably should have pre-combated Narset in case they counter it. It's an extra point on Tarmogoyf. Gonna play Narset. If they force it, I can Gush. Alright, looking for a Mox here, though I will certainly take a Pyroblast. Finding Mox there would have cast the Dreadhorde Arcanist, but Pyroblast is a good one against this seemingly mostly mono blue deck that can no longer draw cards. Petty Theft my Narset. Do I care? This feels like it might be bait, but at the same time, having Narset in play is fucked up. So I'm going for it. Daze, that's a good card. I don't think I need to Gush here. Like, the end result of all of this is Narset's back in my hand. They do get to make their land drop off of the Daze. And it's probably... Oh, Uro. Yeah, that's better than Oko. Yeah, Uro happens. This was always going to be an Uro deck. Just the way that it's constructed. It's pretty clear. Here's Narset again. Force of Negation, Pitching Ponder. I know their hand is Oko Sylvan Library, so I know that my force is good here. I don't need all these Dacks. Another Wrenn, another Pyroblast. Yep, Pyroblast in the stack. I'll pick up a Wasteland. I don't think it matters a lot. Goyf's in for 4 here. I feel like we're pretty far ahead right now. They have Brazen Borrower that doesn't clock me in a way that I care about. Oko that I can counter. Sylvan Library that can't draw cards. They didn't even have double green to get back Uro. Yep. Squeaky clean. Okay, what do I want to do here? It's awkward not having like Soul Guide Lantern or Surgical Extraction against Uro. Like, I don't think I'm going to bring in Ravenous Trap against this deck, even though Uro is pretty scary. But Pyroblast pretty clearly coming in. Lightning Bolt might be good enough. I wonder if they're an exploration deck. Like there are these like crazy exploration loam or fast bond decks, not exploration, fast bond. Fast bond was unrestricted a year or two ago. This could be one of those. Hull Breacher seems completely bonkers here. They do have a strip mine of their own. I don't think we saw Wastelands. We did see strip mines though. Flusterstorm seems good. My whole deck seems good. Maybe I don't bring in the Lightning Bolt, bring in a Pyroblast. We upgrade one of the existing Lightning Bolts to a Pyroblast. Is that the line? Yeah, I think I want Fluster, Probe, all of this stuff. Okay. One Lightning Bolt is now Pyroblast number 4. I'm going to keep this hand that has Ancestral Recall with Force backup. I've heard that's good. You have to be careful. They have shown me Flusterstorm is in their deck. The double Wasteland's not going to work again, though. Okay. They've scrolled for Ancestral. Sure. Hopefully I get the first move on that game. Ooh, Black Lotus. Fuck yeah. Lotus. Ancestral myself. We do have a Force. I have a Force back. Ancestral. Oh, that's dope. Mox Emerald. It's awkward that I have to pop my Lotus if I want to Fluster. I could just pop Lotus for green right now and commit to forcing. Or I could pop Lotus for blue and then tap this for green. That could have been better, but here we are. At least I can force their Ancestral and hope that Tarmogoyf is the fattest cat on the block left afterwards. Force. Oh no. They're fetching. If their Ancestral resolves, I'm going to feel pretty bad about this situation. It's spiraling in response. Looking for an out. Didn't find it. Okay, Tarmogoyf versus that card in their hand. Dual decks. Waste that Tropical Island. Tarmogoyf in for 4. They had no play. Oh, baby. I am ready to breach some halls. Can't Flusterstorm this one. I'm not going to flash in Hull Breacher if I don't know the getting's good. I'll probably flash it in this turn because that does take a turn off the clock. Though having Dig Through Time also as an option is nice. Do I need to take a turn off this clock? I could just dig in the end step. Yeah, I'm going to go in on Hull Breacher here. If they force it, that costs them a life. They can't force a negation, can't Fluster. Don't care about Brazen Borrower. That did the job. On to the final round. I am on the play in the final round. I'm going to keep my hand. Just a squeaky little Preordain. Going to be looking for something that draws more cards off this Preordain. That's not it. More of the same, bottom. Okay, now I can force Pitch Force and keep my Oko around if I need to force this turn. Strip mine from the opponent. That's actually great. My hand is full of lands. I hope they strip mine me again. Maybe I should have played Volcanic Island to tease a Wasteland. Was this the mirror? Oh, no, it's not. Ragavan. This... Ugh, I hate that I should probably force that. Maybe my deck should have Ragavan in it. Okay, peace. The original, bigger Ragavan. I will force to protect this if I need to. Please don't have days. Alright, cool. And there's not an instant in the graveyard, so they can't bolt this Goyf. It's a 2-3. If they bolt it, it'll be a 3-4. DHA. That's a good one. Still not going to fight over it. I think using my forces defensively to get Oko into play is the way forward here. Boop, boop, bop. There's Oko. I'm going to Elk the Arcanist before it gets any bigger. Or before it, that card doesn't get bigger. Before it casts any spells. Gush. Alright, that puts an instant in the graveyard, which makes Tarmogoyf bigger than their Elk. They probably should have attacked before they gushed. Dack Faden. I'll fight over that. They found a force off of their Gush. Pitching Preordain. Alright. Oko versus Dack. Who will win? They did just juice up their graveyard a bit. I have a 3-4 creature. Oh, sick. If I bolt Dreadhorde Arcanist, or if I bolt Ragavan and attack, I guess the question is, can I trick them into not blocking? Because there's not a creature in the graveyard. But if they counter my bolt, then there doesn't need to be. Right, I'm gonna bolt Ragavan main phase. Because if they have mental misstep, I don't want to just like get blown out in combat. Attack, Dack Faden. Imagine we'll see a chump block here. I have a 4-power creature. Yep, sick. And I'm gonna make a food. I don't care if Dack steals that. You can have it. And I can Mystic Sanctuary for Preordain this turn. Like, if Preordain is just better than a wild draw, which it probably is. If they play a creature, I can put Lightning Bolt on top. If they don't do anything, I'm just gonna attack Dack with my 7-power worth of creatures. It would be pretty weird if they didn't do anything with all of these cards that they've seen. Like, they've gushed and activated Dack twice. Goyf is such a boss. I mean, it's easy to look at like Tinker and Demonic Tutor and all the cards you can cast in this format and be like, what the fuck, Tarmogoyf? But look what it's doing in this matchup right now. It's filthy. They discarded Island and a second Dack. Dashing Ragavan. I'm actually going to use my Mystic Sanctuary to give them Force of Will. Yeah, I think that's the safest way to play around this. Like, there's just so many bangers in my deck. If they just hit Ancestral Recall or even Brainstorm or, you know, whatever, a Pyroblast, kill my Oko, they would hit Flooded Strand. I wasted my energy. Goyf is 5/6. That kills Dack on its own. All right, so I'm just going to attack Dack for 5 because they discarded a Planeswalker on their turn. And then I'm going to elk up my food. That's to check Ragavan. And I guess I can make this land drop. Merchant Scroll. Okay, so they can scroll for Ancestral here and draw a zillion. But they've already drawn a lot of cards this game, and they haven't been good. Like, my Goyf is ahead of the Planeswalker control at this point. Red removal in Vintage doesn't really answer Tarmogoyf. Look at that. Gush, activate Dack twice, connect with Ragavan, resolve Ancestral Recall, dead. Tarmogoyf, too fucking good. We're playing against the blue-red tempo deck. This deck has Ragavans and Murktide Regents in it as its threats. I like Pyroblast. Oh, is this deck also a Saga deck? I should check on that. It is also a Saga deck. Okay. That means the Alpine Moons are also coming in. I have MTG Goldfish up in my other window, open to the Vintage meta game, by the way. If you're not doing that when you're playing Vintage, you probably should. So you know what all the cards are, what you need to play around, etc. What do I cut? This is a matchup where, like, I'm basically pre-boarded, but I also have 4 cards I want to bring in. Goyf was bonkers. Wrenn will be bonkers. All Breacher might be... I mean, it's bonkers if it sticks, but it's bad if it's hard to make it stick. I think I can shave on a Force of Will also. Merchant Scroll's pretty important because this matchup's going to hinge around Ancestral Recall. I could shave on Mox Sapphire. That's something I've done a lot. Like, when you don't need the burst of speed to win the matchup, like, Mox is actually a really bad top deck after turn 2 or 3. Like, if you're not ramping into Oko or whatever, it's pretty bad. And we know they're a Dack deck. And Mox Sapphire is the one that doesn't cast Wrenn in 6, which is one of the more important cards. So I don't mind shaving Mox Sapphire here. The internet is welcome to disagree. Go ahead, let me have it. I'm actually going to go down another Force of Will too. Between the Flusterstorms and Pyroblasts, like, Vintage is full of powerful cards. Like, forcing Ancestral Recall is something you want to do even in these fair matchups, but I think that is the worst card that's left here. Lightning Bolt, Wasteland, and a way to find my Ancestral. I'm in. They have the turn 1 Ragavan again. Okay. Time to check the list. Let's do a days count real quick. There are no dazes in this deck. There are 2 Force of Negations, and I'm looking for Flusterstorm next. There's 2 Flusterstorms in the board, and in the main, there's a Mental Misstep. I'm going to bolt right now. They had Force of Will. That's fine. Pitching Dack. They're betting hard on this Ragavan, which could be a good bet. The card's really good. Let's hope they just, like, hit a land. Or a Force of Will. Something I don't care about. Mental Misstep. Alright. Yeah, I don't care about that one. Ooh, strip mine. They do have a plan here. Lightning Bolt. Oh, Black Lotus. I can Black Lotus for Merchant Scroll. I think I want to Wasteland them first. Maybe that was insane. I shouldn't have done that. Alright, so kill that. Go to second main. Just trying to play around Red Blast as much as I can. I recognize they still have a treasure. But this also fuels up Treasure Cruise for next turn. If this resolves, it gets the Ancestral out of my deck, so at least they can't steal it. Ancestral, target me, my floating mana, and Flusterstorm, sure. Alright, I mean, sucks, but also, sure. Ragavan's in again. Took a tropical island. But they don't have a land. Is that good or terrifying? I'm not sure. Preordain can check Ragavan for a turn. Alright, mental misstep, never mind. Or not, sure. Being hyper aggro over there with their counter spells, trying to get over the finish line with Rag. Though if Murktide Regent's in their hand, they can cast it off 2 treasures this turn, and that actually is probably really good. Oh fuck, speaking of really good, there's Wrenn in 6, and they have Strip Mine in their graveyard. God damn it. My cards are so much better than their cards, and they're punishing me for it. Yeah, nice Strip Mine. Okay, I'm gonna Ancestral, or Treasure Cruise, fake Ancestral. And they're gonna strip my red source, then I can't bolt Ragavan. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lose to my own card here. I would have preferred Murktide Regent last turn. See if I can draw a red source. If I can remove Ragavan from play. Alright, nope. We're dead. Yeah, Wrenn in 6, real good. Proof of concept if we still needed it. I don't think anything really changes here. Maybe I do want to... I don't know. Do I... Is the Mox even good? I guess it does let me hold up Flusterstorm. It's funny that I just asked, is Mox even good? Maybe I don't need both Alpine Moons. But I do still have all the Wastelands and stuff. I can dig for a moon if I need it. I don't really want 2 of them. Okay. I'm back in on all my power. This hand dies to Ragavan, but I'm going to keep it. Dies to Ragavan is a little aggressive. Like, it just doesn't currently have an answer to the card. But I can play Volcanic Island, hold up Flusterstorm, and then Brainstorm into an answer for Rag. Strip them if they don't have one. Please cast Preordain. Please cast Preordain. Yes! Okay. We're in the Wasteland game. That's the game I wanted to play here. Wasteland you. I'm just chilling on my cantrips for now. Yes. No land, no problem. I am going to use Flusterstorm to protect my Brainstorm from Mental Misstep if I need to. Okay, that's a lot of lands. Shuffle them away. And I am just going to fetch now. This is going to be a patient game, I think. Hopefully they just miss a couple land drops and they're way too far behind to ever catch up. Layla the Blade Reforged, powerful. I'm going to preordain using my Trop because I have green over here also. Bottom top, hell yeah. Tarmogoyf with Flusterstorm backup. Now we got this game headed towards its conclusion. Force pitching Dack, fluster this. Force is the only thing they could have, Force of Will, so it'll cost them another 2 cards to fight over this Tarmogoyf, then I can reload with Gush. Yeah, they don't even have it. Let's go. I think this game's over. Guess they could, like, Black Lotus Murktide Regent, but that's still smaller than Tarmogoyf right now. Ooh. A piece of candy, as the kids say. Ancestral myself. Oh yeah. Now we're just throwing confetti in the air. My opponent slightly tilted off in the chat. Whatever, man. You kept a 1-lander against the deck with Wasteland and Strip Mine. Okay. 4-1 with old, trusty, reliable Rug Xerox. Ragavan, being a card that people might play, does make Lightning Bolt and Tarmogoyf a whole lot better. Dreadhorde Arcanist also blocks that. Makes Hull Breacher a lot worse. Like, you might want to turn this... This Hull Breacher is definitely a flex slot. You could turn that into something else that matches up well against Ragavan. Though you'll probably be happier with Hull Breacher in combo matchups. You don't want a third Tarmogoyf. Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe a second Dreadhorde Arcanist. Or Yeah, that's probably it. Last year I played a Nimble Obstructionist in this slot in the main event because Doomsday was a much bigger deal, and you can cycle Obstructionist to counter the Oracle trigger. And it's really difficult to interact with, but Doomsday has fallen off a bit. It's still out there, but Hull Breacher is just a more generically playable card, but it's not as powerful where you really want the power. So this is a flex slot. You can change it to be something that addresses Ragavan, something that addresses Doomsday, etc. The sideboard did feel lacking against that Uro deck, but I guess I didn't really need it because it's not really a good vintage deck. Having a Soul Guide Lantern or Surgical Extraction would have been nice there, but I think that I'm happier with the Alpine Moon, the Rav Trap, and the Tabernacle. I do like those. Ravenous Trap could be Leyline if you really want to drop a hammer on graveyard decks, because the Madness Vine decks can play around Ravenous Trap by discarding like a Vengevine or like 2 Vengevines and a Rootwalla, and then you cast the Rootwalla with Madness from exile and it never goes to the graveyard and they never discard 3 cards. So Ravenous Trap can be played around more than Leyline can, but you can also surprise people with Ravenous Trap when you can't surprise them with Leyline, so there's some pros and cons there. Overall, the deck felt good. This is still very much a vintage deck. Maybe it wants to play Ragavan. Maybe your Hull Breacher slot should be your own Ragavan. That would be pretty cool, but a one of Ragavan in this deck doesn't make a lot of sense. Those blue-red decks are built with Ragavan sort of in mind, and this one is not. So probably not, but those are my thoughts on this. This deck is still good. I still think it lines up well against what a lot of people are doing, and good luck out there on Eternal Weekend. If you decide to play this, let me know how it goes. If you decide to play something else, no hard feelings. I don't know what I'm going to play. I honestly have no idea yet. I'm between like 3 or 4 options, and Vintage is really exciting. I'm excited to play in these tournaments. So I'll see you out there in the trenches. Thank you, Sam, for asking me to play this. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, check out the merch, the Patreon, all that stuff, and I'll see you at Eternal Weekend.